Hi folks, I'm Nate with Two Guys in a Ride, and we're here in Minnetonka at the Fast and Furious car show, and we're here with Charlie, and Charlie has, well, you know, a kind of an interesting car. I'm joking. Charlie, tell us what we have back here.
This is my 2020 Aston Martin Vantage AMR.
Oh, I absolutely love it. We were talking about the paint color a little bit earlier. I hope it comes across on the camera, but it just sparkles in the light.
Yes.
As you go. I mean, that's just beautiful. Now, explain the AMR part.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, in 2019 and 2020, Aston Martin made 200 cars globally that came with the manual transmission.
Okay.
And it was a car that was kind of developed by their racing department to have a more raw driving experience.
Okay.
So it got a 7-speed manual transmission. It came with the carbon ceramic brakes, as well as all these carbon fiber bits.
It looks fantastic.
Thank
now, you added the graphics?
The graphics are for Crown Rally,
okay.
An event that we will be participating in just a week or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see a number of cars with that Crown Rally on there, so it must be something that's important. Is it for a cause?
It is, yep. So Crown Rally is a charity rally. They've raised a tremendous amount of money for a variety of charities, I believe.
Okay.
But it's a really fun event. We get together. There's 3 of them currently, a west, a south, and a north version. The north version is the one that I will be participating in. It starts in Minneapolis here, and it will go to Lake Elkhart, where we're going to get a day on track at Road America.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that I can see why you want to go then. Plus, it's a good charity, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, you mentioned the brakes on this thing.
Yes.
I mean, they're so big.
Yeah.
That they almost have to get a bigger tire, a rim to fit anything bigger than that.
If he's picked up on it, on the first rally I took it in this year, Cannonball, I was on a back road and I heard this whining noise and I couldn't figure out what it was. Pulled over to the side of the road. Sure enough, I found rocks on both front wheels between the caliper and the wheel, and I now have custom pinstriping inside the barrels.
But I mean, that's how close that tolerance is.
Yes.
It's just, but the question is, does it stop well?
Very well. Very well. We were at BIR just this past weekend.
Oh, that's a nice track.
In the Power Cruise event, and you could lay your foot into the brakes at 150 miles an hour and be nervous about kissing the windshield.
Now, top end on this car.
Factory reports it as 205.
205. Oh, I won't ask you if you've gone that fast. We'll just say that Charlie has a lead foot on the right. We won't say any more on that.
In safe spaces.
In safe spaces. I love the carbon fiber in the hood here too. That's just really neat. Okay, let's come around here a little bit. I like how the fact the even the mirrors get that, everything has that sparkle to it. Okay, coming back, you got the door handles automatically come out. You just push. Okay, and they open right up. Okay, now did you do the customize the interior as well?
I have not. So the only modifications that I've made to the car are lowering springs and a little bit of aftermarket exhaust.
Okay.
But the interior, everything else is factory.
So it had that yellow striping already?
So that's a part of the AMR package. So they get...
It matches the Crown Rally.
So, the Crown Rally graphics match the factory pins. They're the factory accents. So
these down here are factory.
This is factory on the carbon fiber.
Good choice in colors, I guess. Okay, so when we look at the inside, first of all, I just got to wipe the drool off my face. Okay, so it's all digital.
Yes.
The dashboard. Yep. But you got 3 pods. So are they all customizable, all 3 pods?
There's various settings. So the left one, you get fuel, water temp, oil temp.
Okay.
Center is tack and speed.
Okay.
And then the right is like an infotainment where you can do
your radio, your stations, Bluetooth,
exactly,
Pandora, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, and then of course you've got all the modern buttons on the steering wheel.
Yep.
And then there's a beautiful 7-speed manual shift transmission.
Yes.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about the way they designed the linkage.
Yep.
Talk about that.
So it's gotten poor reviews, I will say. The transmission itself for being a little bit, for not having the greatest feel.
Okay.
Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it's been a lot of fun. It's very engaging to drive.
About how much horsepower does it have? Roughly.
The internet's going to correct me in the comment section, I imagine, but I think it's 515.
After 500, who cares?
It is over 500. I know that much.
All right. And foot-pounds of torque?
465.
Okay. Now they've done something with the transmission and the torque. What is it?
So it is an AMG 4-liter bi-turbo motor.
Okay.
In various platforms that motor finds itself in, it ranges north of 500 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
In this car, they've limited it to 465 foot-pounds because this gearbox has only shown up in a few cars prior to this. Notably, the V12 Vantage S, which they made a 100-car run. That car made 465 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
So they intentionally detuned the torque on all gears to that level to keep to know that the gearbox.
But it's not gonna have an issue.
Yep. And then in first and second, since it is a rather tail-happy car, they've limited torque even further. Yep.
So it's almost gear sensitive.
It is. Yep. So there's tuning specific by gear from the factory.
Because there's a difference in having a high horsepower car with a lot of torque and having a nice drivable car.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this has both.
Yes. I picked it up with 1,300 miles on it. As it sits here tonight, it's got about 5,000.
And you can drive this 30 miles an hour through traffic, and it's not a problem to control. You don't feel like you're lurching or.
No, not at all. I mean, no one likes stop and go in a manual.
Well, no, none of us do. But the point, I mean, if you were driving a different sports car, you may get very different handling. Going, okay, next time we're just taking the bypass around town. Cause
it's a very drivable car. It's very friendly, and it's quite enjoyable.
Let's step to the back here for a minute.
Yeah.
We got some of this beautiful carbon fiber. Look, the lines on the Aston Martin Vantage are just stunning.
Yes.
I absolutely love. I mean, and they're everywhere you look. I keep finding more, but you got in the hood, you got down here, you've got. Oh my gosh.
I've spent time in my own garage noticing details that I didn't know were
before.
there.
You pick them up and they're new. Like, hey, wait a minute, I didn't notice that before.
Everything from how the taillights are designed to match the wing of the logo. You can pick that up in the front headlights as well. So at the very tips of the headlights, you get the tip of a wing.
Nice.
When the doors open, they slightly swan up. So as the car sits with the doors open, it looks like the Aston Martin wings.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
It is fun. I was going to ask you, how much time do you spend just kind of looking at it? Because really,
almost as much as driving it.
It's a rolling piece of art.
It's a very pretty car.
I mean, it's just beautiful. I love just how this line continues from the middle here, comes up for your brake light. Oh man, that is beautiful. Now, what size tires do you have on here?
295s in the rear, I believe. 295 35/20s and 255 40.
Okay, there we go. Tell us about your business and what you do.
Sure. So, Eurocharge Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
We are a automotive performance and repair shop located in St. Louis Park.
Okay.
And we cater to European and luxury and exotic vehicles for performance work and daily driver maintenance and repair.
Okay, so people can go to your shop to get either just a car repaired, a foreign car, or have it modified. So you do like engine tune-ups?
Absolutely.
Suspension?
We do full motor swaps. We do turbo upgrades, motor builds, suspension work.
When are you going to upgrade this one?
I've started tinkering, but
you've done the suspension already.
It's a 2020, so I do have concerns about keeping a factory warranty in place for a period of time. I mean, I'm getting comfortable with the car, and you know, the mod bug bites, and when it bites, it's very hard to
resist.
It's very hard to resist. So I'm doing my best to be intentional with what I do.
How did you get into cars in the first place? I mean, not only are you driving a fantastic car that we don't see very often, so that's rare, but you also own or co-own a business where you work on cars and modify them.
How much time you got?
Yeah, all the time in the world.
So my passion for cars started before I could drive.
Okay.
My father would have nice cars around, and he had a very keen affection for keeping them clean.
Okay.
I like to help Dad out, so it very much turned into me spending time in the garage helping him clean cars.
Okay.
Call it enterprising, call it what you will, but I started detailing cars for the neighbors that noticed that I was cleaning cars. That turned into a word-of-mouth experience where by the time I had a license, I was starting to clean cars for other people, picking them up, bringing them to the house, cleaning them. And from there, I just got lucky being introduced to people with more and more exotic or high-end performance cars. And I think that's where it really bit. Just having the chance to sit in them, drive them a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get to sit in. That's really not fair. That was like, unwrapping the lollipop and holding it in front of you with an open mouth, saying, "Yeah, don't touch it."
From there, the motivation, the hooks were in, and went to college. Got my degrees and started working, making some money of my own. And the first performance vehicle I bought was a 2010 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8.
Oh yeah.
Had some fun with that. From there, it was a 2014 C63 AMG.
Okay.
A 2007 Aston Martin Vantage, and now this. Yeah.
Working your way up slowly but surely. Oh man.
I'm a lucky guy.
You are a lucky guy, and we are happy for you.
Thank you.
So, what's your best memory so far with this car?
Picking it up with my wife. Yeah, we drove down with the...
You told her you were getting it before she showed up to see the car.
She was the last straw. She actually told me to do it. I was on the fence that it might be too expensive or a little bit over the top, and she loved it more than I did, so I was like, if you're in, honey, let's do it.
So does she drive it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
She knows how to drive manual. She's a little bit afraid of it yet.
Well, get her out on BRI track, you know, on the in-between laps, you know, where they let anyone drive on there.
I've already told you, I just got the car.
All in good time.
Yeah.
So, as a car enthusiast,
yes,
and as a person who has a business that repairs cars, what advice would you give somebody that's just starting out? You know, they have a passion for cars and they're going to go buy something.
Yeah.
Based on your experience and knowledge, if you could tell them 1, 2, 3, whatever things, what would the things you'd want to say to them? Buy a house before a car?
It's not bad advice. But you know, not my joke, but you can live in a car, but you can't race a house.
You can't. I like that one.
You know, find what your passions are, and if your passion is cars, but you're not suited to work on them, find a different way to make the money that you're going to buy the cars with, right? Make sure that if your intention is to be involved in cars and that is your primary motivator, make sure that you're ready to spend time around them with the frustrating parts that come with fixing cars.
Oh my gosh, Charlie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For doing this interview, for sharing this beautiful Aston Martin with us and your story, and thanks for sharing your passion. We sure appreciate it.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you guys tonight.
Thanks for watching.